I just feel so happy. It's been...
We got there.
Yeah, it's been a long way.
Yeah.
It really has. So how do you feel about now having in front of us two beautiful French wines?
Well, this is the end result of a lot of work, as you both know. Passion that I've had all my life, really. People know that I'm hugely passionate about two things, wine and France. Put the two together. So when I got the phone call, I wanted something different. Not out of the mold, not something totally new. But what we've ended up with is something beyond what I thought we would achieve. And it's exciting. It's to see it in front of you now and to see all the work that you guys have put in and everybody's put in to see it there. It's a lot of work.
It's most of all in the vineyards, you know.
Yeah.
It's quite old vineyards, 30, 40 years old. And actually their roots are going 15 meters underneath.
Right.
Searching after energy. And we do what we call a green harvest.
Right.
Which means in the beginning of the summer, we cut grapes off in order having more taste and fruit in the grapes that we eat. And then, as you know, afterwards, it's aged in barrels, brand new oak barrels. And you did the blending, and you did an amazing job.
So, interesting enough, when you're doing it, you kind of look at it as a recipe. In your head, you're thinking it as a chef, so you're thinking a balance of taste, sweetness, sharpness, a bit of everything, smooth, you salty, a bit like you're developing a recipe. It's more or less the same idea of this, but it's slightly more difficult because the balance, even just 1 or 2%, can throw it totally off kill. I remember when you were bringing me different, particularly the white, different grape varieties, and you said, even by 1%, 0.5%, it would swing it either way and it would change it massively. So a recipe, you can always bring it back, whereas this, once you're set in stone and it's locked in, that's what it is. So it's very formulaic, but getting there is a lot of work.
Yeah.
And the degrees out is massive.
It is. And I also feel very proud that we have Buckinghamshire as a sole importer in England. And they did a very beautiful job about the marketing and the distribution. And maybe you can tell us a little bit about the marketing, David.
We're also very excited to be here in lovely location. Obviously, the Languedoc produces loads of amazing wines, but and the world of wine, as we all know, is difficult for consumers. If you go in a wine aisle, you're surrounded by wines. It's difficult to pick one to choose from.
Yeah.
So I think having you selecting the wines for the consumers in the wine aisle, they're guided by your name as well on the front label. So that provides reassurance, I think, for consumers. And the great thing is that the wines come with a specific recipe that you've selected that will be attached with a neck hanger around the bottle with a QR code, and that means that consumers can go and find all the ingredients for the recipe to go with your wine. So
the idea is people can do the QR code and it'll come up on their tablet, phone, whatever it is, the recipes that I'm cooking behind me.
Exactly, the ingredients, pretty much, And so that's the neck tag, essentially. So it comes with a lovely picture of yourself, so there's the recipe inside, the method, so how to cook it, and then the idea is to scan the QR code, and then you get the recipe and the ingredients. So it's a no-brainer for the consumer, really, because it's you're helping them through the wine and to cook the recipe with it. So
because it'll also on there, it'll tell you how it's all produced, where it all comes from, the story behind it. It's not just the recipe.
Exactly, yeah. It's a full experience.
It's quite interesting when you're doing this as well. You mentioned that wine aisle. You do get confused. You're walking down the aisle and you don't know which to pick.
Exactly.
And it's quite interesting that you guys have looked at it from a chef's point of view. Nobody's really done that before. I found that fascinating. That, you picked major chefs in France, and then nobody's ever done that before. Really, I just think it's the natural partnership, isn't it? Really, food and drink. It's the great partnership, but putting the two together, it's been a fascinating process, and one that's been quite interesting is the fact that when I gave you the ideas and the blend, that you, having been working with all these French chefs for the period of time that you have, we've got two wines that you've never done before.
They're totally unique, and you really surprised me. Selecting the Syrahs.
Yeah,
it's It's so well balanced, yet crispy, and has a nice level of fruit.
And also, I wanted something that was good with fish, meat, vegetarian dishes. It could be I didn't want something that was, dare I say, just as a special occasion. You know, it doesn't have to be. It can be. It can hold itself up to anything. But I wanted something that, you know, that white will work with meat, it'll work with fish, it'll work with salads, it'll work with charcuterie, it'll work with everything. And equally, the red, going the way that we went, again, something that's not your classically French, as in French chef red, going something that is a little bit lighter, that is a bit more quaffable. It can go with equally with fish, meat, and vegetarian food as well. So
Exactly.
I'm just a bit with it. Last word is try it. Try it. Go out there and try it, because it's been an awful lot of work. It's like running a restaurant. You have an initial idea, and it's very easy to open. It's not easy to run, and it's been a process that has been a fascinating learning curve for me, and one that we're almost at the first hurdle, because I know he's already thinking about the next year and next year and next year. But it is a fascinating project because the grapes change year on year, and so your palate changes, and it's all about making food and drink available to the general public that they hope they will love. And I think we've got two cracking wines to start off with, and hopefully you like them.